Generation Y. And I said, well, like, why? Why do we do it that way? You know, why do we have to come to work so early? Nothing gets done around here till 10. You know, why? Why does it take so long to get a raise? Man, I've been here 2 weeks. Time for a raise. It's a generation who's impatient. It's a generation, if you really think about it, when this little generation was born, we went into your room and we said, you could be anything you want to be. We tucked you in bed. We said, you could be princess, you could be the president, anything you wanted, and you believed us. You were the generation that when you woke up in the morning, we let you wear whatever you wanted. You want to be a pirate today? Okay, you can be a pirate. You want to be princess? We'll give you a little tiara. And it wasn't Halloween. And you went around as pirates and princesses, and we got you designer buggies with leather ruffles. And you believe, Gen Y, we love you. You're very optimistic. You believe all of this. I had someone come up to me and go, Miss McCullough, you got to hear this. It was an attorney, 29. She goes, I thought I was a princess until I was 12. But sometimes reality bites, right? And so we have to kind of really begin to look at what we have created. So let's take a peek. We call you the can-do kids because you believe you can do anything. You are the most optimistic of all the generations, and that's really good. I just read an article that 37% of you are either unemployed or underemployed. 37% of you are waiting tables right now, or you're not working, but you're not even worried. You're not worried. You're optimistic. You're sure next year you're going to make 15 to 90K. You're living with your mom and dad. They're a little worried about it, right? But you're not worried about it at all. You're the first generation who is high on self-esteem. You believe in yourself. I believe that you, Generation Y, have more self-esteem than talent. Sometimes you don't have any idea how to do some of these jobs, and you jump in there and you can do them. And here's what happens when you fail. You get kind of sad, you know, and then you don't want to go. I had a person call me. She said to me that they can't make the first day of work too hard for Gen Y because they quit at lunch. If it's too hard, they quit at lunch. Now, you all need to know that because you all are probably older Gen Y, so every year they get a little harder and a little harder, right? So you're the first generation that was raised with technology. And this is the first time in history where this generation knows more about technology than their parents. And it's never happened before. So we have to begin to look at you. You are going to do things faster and quicker, and your experiences are very different. You want to be heard, okay? You're very self-expressive. You want to sit at the table and you want to be heard. Gen X never spoke. We have no idea what they're thinking, nor do we want to know, right? Gen X, no, just kidding. But Gen Y, you want to be heard, okay? You have ideas and opinions. And you know what? That idea that you have could be the next $1 million idea. It's just the way you serve it up. We don't want you going to the president of the company. If I'm your manager, come to me first. You know, don't jump over me. Blogs, you have learned that you have really brought in Web 2.0. And so to me, we're blaming Gen Y for everything. I think it's the marriage of Gen Y and technology. I think they've both come into the workplace at the same time. And so together, you're bringing about a lot of changes. They just did a study. So Gen Y is turning 30. I hope we all can laugh at this, right? Because it's kind of fun, Jim. You got to learn to laugh at yourself, right? So I wanted to share with you some of the latest findings of Gen Y that the Pew report just published like a month ago, okay? Number one, you're the boomerang kids. The average age right now of kids staying home is 30. So 30-year-olds are now kids, and they're staying at home with their mom and dad. They go off to school, maybe they try a job, and then they come back and they live with their mom and dad. We've heard Gen X, don't laugh, 35-year-olds are doing that too. 37% of all of them are right now unemployed. We had talked about that. They're the most highly educated of all the generations. That's because they're going back for their master's and their MBA because there's no work. Now it gets interesting. They live online. So they live on their phone. They're not carrying their computers around anymore. Everything is mobile right now. I think I have that one for the text versus talk. They're postponers. They're postponers. They're not getting married as quickly as the other generations, and they're not buying houses. So they're postponing, I say, getting old. They have a mobile mindset. And that's pretty interesting because we just saw in that video that they live on their phone. And so you begin to understand how we're going to be communicating with them, how we're going to be marketing our hotels, how things are going to be changing, because this generation is bringing change. They're highly impatient. They're highly impatient. You can see that when you're driving and you look next to a Gen Y and they're like having a heart attack. They want control of their time. We used to do return on investment. Gen Y wants return on my time. So when they're done with a project, they want to go home. They're done. They don't realize that there's more work to be done because they really work on projects and completing projects rather than on filling out a full day's work. They want to learn, grow, and advance, and they do want your job. Although I just read where they don't really want your job because they found out how many managers are in here, how hard you work, and they're not sure they want that anymore. So that's changing. And they want you to teach them, which I love. They're very open to training. They're very teachable. They're hungry for information. I think it's a very, very exciting time right now.